Hi, everybody. I'm Robin, and these are my reflections. And today I am bringing a tag to YouTube. I started this one over on Instagram um, back in September, I think. And I wanted to just kind of talk a little bit about pop culture decks and have some like fun talk around it because at the time I think um, you know, I had just gotten Hocus Pocus and I was really excited, and people were upset. And so I thought, well, this is the only Inside Editions deck I have, but I really like it. And maybe there are some other decks out there um, in my collection that, I might also like. And so I started looking through my collection to see what other kinds of popular culture decks I have. At the same day, I got another pop culture deck, and I was just thinking, what do I have? And then when I started combing through, I realized I have so many decks, and they're none by Inside Editions. I just have the one, but there's so many popular culture decks. So I thought I'll make a tag and see what other people have, and it didn't go so well on Instagram because I think Instagram blocked my tag. They do that to me a lot. I don't know if anybody else has this problem, but sometimes when I add tags to my posts, they don't post to the tags page. And this happened with this one. I couldn't get my posts to go. I don't know if other people were participating and maybe they couldn't also get their posts to go, or if maybe just people just weren't participating. I do have a pretty small Instagram page, so I don't know. But I wanted to bring it over here and see if people might want to show their decks over here. It's obviously a lot easier to do it on YouTube. So here we go. Um, when I'm talking about pop culture decks, I mean decks that were created to be directly representative of the popular culture where I am. So I'm in America, but I would love to see decks from other cultures, other people's cultures as well. I know there's a deck out there called Diabolique from Lo Scarabeo, which is about a Italian comic book, which I have never seen or heard of. But I have heard of the deck, so that would be, kind of an example of the tarot bringing me to a popular culture item. But I would love to see other people's decks as well. Um, so when I say pop culture, what I mean is popular media like books, comic books, TV shows, video games, movies, things like that, music, famous popular culture artists or writers, singers, actors, political, popular things that are happening or whatever. So, all of that I'm considering in this group. Um, Let me see. What else did I want to say? Oh, so this will be great. I wanted to just kind of like talk a little bit about kind of what I am going to include in my tag. Now, if you want to do this tag, please, I'll put the prompts below. Join in. Um, do as many or as few prompts as you want. Add prompts, take them away. Do 2 prompts. Just show your pop culture tarot collection, or deck collection, oracle tarot, whatever you have. And don't put any prompts. Like I'm not the police. Do you? I would love to see it though. So I would love to see it. But for me in my collection, this is sort of what I'm going to be doing. I am. Oh, let me just. That wasn't in the frame. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to talk a little bit about kind of like what I'm not going to do. So I do consider, I'm not going to choose any decks and this is actually going to give me a chance to do some honorable mentions. So that's nice. These won't be included in the tag, but these are some honorable mentions. I'm not going to include any decks that remind me of popular culture, but aren't directly related to it. So for instance, this is a Spectral World Tarot. If a deck wasn't specifically created to be in that form or in that style, I'm not going to choose it. So I wouldn't choose Spectral Whirl because even though this deck very much reminds me of sort of like the Lisa Frank movement of the 80s and 90s, where, there was all of that, stationery and artwork and things that you could purchase in that style. This deck wasn't actually made to reflect that. Now, if this was the Lisa Frank Tarot, I would include it. But as it is, I would not include this deck in my pop culture deck collection. However, this one, the Doodle Tarot, this one is clearly created to mimic these sort of composition notebook, that sort of part of our culture, of the children's, schoolyard culture, even down to like where it says this deck belongs to, or it would say this book belongs to inside of these notebooks. This was a big deal when I was a kid, these sort of notebooks. I mean, even the backs down to the lines and the little holes where you would put the paper in the notebook. It is clearly meant to mimic popular that part of pop culture, school culture, right? And so this one I would use. I'm not going to be using it today, but I'm just saying that is one that I would use if I was going for like a movement. I wouldn't use Spectral World, but I would use the Doodle Tarot. In the same vein, I would include these. I would say that, like if it was like this deck is the Mermaid Tarot, it does remind me very much of like Disney movies and The Little Mermaid. However, is not based on The Little Mermaid, and it is not meant to be a Disney movie or The Little Mermaid. It's not meant to mimic that. So I would not use this one. However, this one, How to Be a Wildflower deck, is a clear representation of the book, the New York Times bestselling book. It even says it on the back. She's the author of the New York Times bestselling book, How to Be a Wildflower, which is the namesake and the inspiration of the deck. So this I would use in my pop culture tarot as a pop culture. I would use this one because it is meant to be based on that book. And books are part of what I'm going for for the pop culture. So that being said, you do you, like I said, but for me, that's kind of how I'm doing it. Look, I put this card in here. I love this quote from Leonardo da Vinci, but on the back of this card, I'm not even going to show it because I don't want to traumatize nobody, is a spider and a snake. So yeah, that one got nixed. The bottom of the box it goes. But for me, that's how I'm going to do it. You do you, but I just wanted to say that up front so that people aren't like, well, what about this one or what about that one? That's why, because that's kind of how I'm kind of narrowing it down here. Okay, so like I said before, I did do this before on Instagram. I have not looked back at my prompts and I don't completely remember them. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to look back. And what we'll do is in editing, we'll see what matched and what didn't, because I remember going back and forth about a few of them. So we'll see. And if it doesn't match, then in editing, I'll show you what I put on Instagram if it was different. But for right now, I'm not going to look back because I don't want to see. I want to see if I come up with the same answers. Okay, I've talked enough. Let's get this show on the road. So my first prompt is Like a Virgin, the deck that popped your pop culture deck cherry. And this, I've named them all after pop songs, just so you know, because why not? So we've got Like a Virgin, and my first pop culture deck was the Vanessa Tarot. I've had this deck for a minute, and I'm pretty sure this is the first one that I ever had. And this is a deck by Leonard Narciso, Narciso, from the U.S. Games. It's a little 1 in a 10. I'm going to zoom you in because this is a little tiny deck. So let me zoom you in so you can see. 1 second. All right. Okay. So this is a deck of images that are based on popular culture, like different movies and people, music, stories some of them I know, some of them I don't. Like I feel like I've seen this one before, but I can't quite put my finger on who it is. Is she the divorce court lady? I don't know. Like these are people from TV and popular culture, movies. Like this is Snow White and Cinderella. No, what's the other one? Sleeping Beauty. Snow White and Sleeping Beauty. So like, yeah, this is, I think, like I don't even know. I thought that was Little Red Riding Hood, but then she's holding a poppet, so I'm really not sure. But This is one of those DC characters. I don't know which one. Don't get me to lying. But these are popular culture people. I'm sure this is somebody I should know and don't. Some of these people I recognize right off the bat, and some of them I don't. And some of them I didn't necessarily recognize up front. And then, as time went on, they made more sense to me. And I'm still at some point, sometimes when I look at these, I'm like, oh, I know who that is, like all these years later. So, so yeah, this is definitely my first pop culture deck, and I actually still have it, which is surprising because a lot of the decks that I had around this time I bought this one, I don't have anymore, but this one I held on to. Maybe because it's so tiny. It is pretty cute. Um, so yeah, that is the Vanessa Tarot. That was the deck that popped my pop culture cherry. Next up is Love to Love You, baby. This is a pop culture deck that you love, and mine is going to be the Poe Tarot. I love this deck. This deck is based on and inspired by the works of the great American author Edgar Allan Poe. So he has lots of stories, lots of poetry, and Trisha Lee Shufelt, who created this deck along with Schiffer Publishing, or Red Feather, I don't know who they are anymore, but this this is I think they've done a fabulous job at this. I really love this deck. I like the cardstock. I love the edging. I love these ravens on the back. Of course, they're ravens, not crows. Um, I like that it's in black and white because it gives you space to breathe. I love the quotes on the bottom. I think that Trisha, I'm going to zoom you in, so hang on for a second. I think that Trisha did a fabulous job choosing the quotes here to sort of go along with these tarot cards and kind of how, the energy of the card. I think that Trisha did a wonderful job. For instance, here is the Queen of Wells, and it says, no guile disguised the fervor of love which animated her heart, and she examined with me its inmost recesses as we walked together in the valley of the many colored grass, right? And in the guidebook, sometimes it tells you where it's from, sometimes it tells you why she used it, and sometimes it just, gives you her thoughts on the matter, and I appreciate that. Like, she just talked about what she wanted to share with the world about Edgar Allan Poe, which I have appreciated. This deck has also sent me into reading some of the stories of his that I hadn't already read. And as I read the stories, I realize that some of these they make more sense to me, and some of them, already made sense to me even before I read the story, and some of them make more sense since I've read them. So, but I think that this is a very well done, very, very cute, well, I won't say cute, but beautiful, easy to use tarot deck. I use it to read all the time. I think that it is insightful and also quite intuitive because you can use the images, you can use the stories, you can use the quotes, you can go wherever your mind takes you and whatever pops out to you. You can also use it as an oracle deck. I haven't done that, but I feel like sometimes when I'm using the deck as a tarot deck, sometimes even though I'm using it as a tarot deck, the messages come out like an oracle, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm making any sense, y'all, but it's a great deck. It's definitely a deck that I love, and so it falls very squarely into the I love to love you, baby, on my pop culture tarot road here. And so that is the Poe Tarot by Trisha Lee Shufelt, published by Red Feather, or I don't know, Red Feather Publishing, I guess. My next prompt is sorry, not sorry. This is a pop culture deck deck that missed the mark for you, and maybe you still have it in your collection and maybe you don't. I do still have mine. I am holding on to it because I like the deck kind of, but I don't know kind of what I'm supposed to be doing with this. And this is for me the Believe in Your Own Magic Oracle deck by Amanda Lovelace. Artwork by, is it Janana? I don't know. I'm not even going to try to pronounce her last name, but I think that this deck is cute, and I like the little book that came with it, with these little, you know, oracle messages. I I love the cardstock on this. It's got that rubbery cardstock, what I call rubbery cardstock, which it's like it's like bouncy. It almost feels like if you dropped it on the ground, it would bounce, you know. And they shuffle wonderfully, and they're super bendy, and I love this sort of stock. I wish all my tarot decks came in this cardstock, but they don't, alas. But this one, I really do enjoy it. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little weird to me. Like, I don't really understand exactly what I'm supposed to be doing with this. I don't feel it's an oracle deck per se. It really feels more like a deck of cards with her thoughts and poetry connected to it. And they're a little bit pushy, these thoughts, to be honest. So it's more like a book in deck form, which I have a couple of these books in deck forms. But some of them work better for me to use for divination. This one doesn't really sit with me. Like I don't know. I can't get it to work. I don't know. I have tried. I do like it. And this just, you can use anything as a divination deck, whatever. But these just, for me, they're not easy. I like to pull them and just read from this little book, and just think. I feel they make good journal prompts, and just like kind of nighttime reading. But as far as like a divination deck, this misses the mark for me. So that is my sorry, not sorry. And this is the Believe in Your Own Magic Oracle deck by Amanda Lovelace. Okay, and so my next prompt is Let's Stay Together. Now, if you don't know that song, please look it up. It is a fabulous song. Might be showing my age a little bit, but this is a pop culture deck that you will never part with because you are too much of a fan. And it might be a deck that's fabulous, or it might be a deck that, it just is, it's not the greatest. You probably wouldn't suggest it to anybody, but you're holding on to that sucker because it is your fandom and it makes you happy. And this, for me, is my only Inside Editions deck, which is the Hocus Pocus Tarot. I love this deck. I will never part with it. Is it a deck that I would suggest other people get? Probably not unless they like Hocus Pocus, I would say if you love Hocus Pocus, you should definitely buy this deck because it's great. And it makes me happy to see these images and think about the movie, which I loved when I was a kid and I still love even into my, I won't say how old I am, watching Hocus Pocus every year still. But yeah, still love it. And yeah, I don't know. I love this deck. It makes me smile. I will never part with it. So this is definitely a let's stay together. We will be together for as long as I have tarot decks, as long as this thing lasts and holds up until it falls apart or I fall apart. Whichever happens first. I look at this, like, look. It's like straight out the movie. One of my favorite scenes. I wish they had put a card in here with, the sisters on the stage. Now, do I wish they had, made some different choices? Yes. Do I wish there were more images of the sisters and the characters in here and less pips? Yes. Does the wand suit irritate me sometimes? Absolutely. Like, what is this for a Six of Wands? Like, what is happening here? But, you know, whatever. I can work with it. I can work with it because all of the rest of it makes me so happy. The colors make me happy. The cardstock, the pictures, even the borders. Even the borders I love. I edged it. I'm just very happy with this deck, and I am, this is definitely my Let's Stay Together pick. This is the Hocus Pocus Tarot from Insight Editions. The next one is Hit Me Baby One More Time. And that is a deck that you wish had a sequel or a deck you would buy again to share. And I actually have two for this prompt. One tarot, one oracle. And we'll start with the tarot. I know, it's terrible to do two, but I could not choose. And to be honest, I'm just trying to get this done so I can put it up. And I don't really have a whole lot of time to sit here and go back and forth about this. So I'm just going to do both. So this is the Game of Thrones tarot from HBO. I don't know. I don't know who did this, but I think that this is definitely a deck that I wish had a sequel. This is a fabulous, fabulous deck. It actually could have gone in the next one, that the next prompt, but I chose it for this one because I do wish that it had a sequel. Now, this deck has a lot. I mean, it is so well done. The little guidebook is fabulous. It tells you why they chose everything. The person who did this deck, I think everybody has said this about this deck. The person who did it obviously knew tarot and obviously knew Game of Thrones very well, probably better than even I did, because I mean, I've seen it, but I've only seen it once every episode, and you know, it was over many years of, so, you know, I've forgotten things and all kinds of stuff. So I think that this deck is fabulous. They do repeat the characters, which I'm going to say I actually like, because when I'm using this deck, for the reason that I use this deck, ooh, it's the devil. For the reason that I use this deck, it is nice to have the repeating characters, because when I see those repeating faces in the cards, it lets me know that those cards need to link together in some way, and then I can weave a story about that character throughout my reading. I love that about this deck. So whenever I'm reading on a particular person, particularly I like to do readings. Sometimes I do readings. A friend of mine likes to do political readings sometimes, and I like to use this deck sometimes for that, because if I'm targeting a specific political figure, I can assign that person, maybe not assign, but as they pop up, if I see them pop up multiple times, I say, okay, if this is this person in this area, or in this area, or in that area, or this person showing this archetype as well as this archetype, or this person is moving from this through this energy into this, and I can see them clearly represented on the cards because it's the same face, it's the same character. So I love that about this deck. However, that being said, I would like a sequel, because I want to see some other characters. I wanted to see some of the black characters. There's only maybe like 4 or 5 black people on the whole show, and none of them made it into this deck, which kind of gave me a little bit of an attitude, to be honest. I mean, I get it, but I want more. Like, I wanted those. It's only 2 people really that were like very integral into the plot that could have been in here, and why y'all put it in here? Why didn't y'all put them in here? And then there are so many other characters that I would like to see show up as well. So I think I would like it noted that I do not shuffle in reversals, nor do I put cards in reverse. So the fact that these cards are always showing up upside down is very, very weird and a little bit creepy, I gotta say. So it's a little creepy. But yeah, I would like maybe 1 or 2 less Bran and a few other characters, or even just a sequel to this deck with the new show and some of those characters, or, you know, some of the later characters from this show. I don't know. I just would like to see another one. I think I would buy it. Would you guys buy it? I don't know. We'll see. All right. So that is Game of Thrones tarot from, who did this? Yeah, it says Chronicle Books, from Chronicle Books and HBO. And my other deck that I have chosen for this Hit Me Baby One More Time. So this is the deck I wish had a sequel. And then I have also, the second part of this was a deck that I would buy to share again. Oop, I'm making a mess. Sorry. Let me just put this away. Okay, so the second part of this. Now, I didn't mean to answer both of these questions, but it just so happens that both of them showed up since I chose two decks. But, you know, if anybody's responding to this, please don't feel like you need to answer both of these. One or the other is fine, or none. So for me, a deck that I would definitely buy to share is the Hip Hop Queens. This is definitely a Hit Me Baby One More Time. I would absolutely buy this again. I would absolutely buy it to share with someone. I think that this deck is fabulous. It is a deck of hip hop personalities, people who were very, very integral into the hip hop movement, all females, which is, I love. I just love. And it's good. It's really good. The person who wrote this little book and created this deck really knows hip hop. They know hip hop and they know these people. And they have chosen keywords to go with each person that really match that person's story and their influence in the hip hop world. I adore this deck. It's also very affirming, and it's helpful if you are a woman. I think it's really good for people living as females in this world, whether that be cisgender, transgender, whatever. If you're living as a female and as a woman in this world, this book, this deck is kind of powerful. I mean, I think it's kind of powerful. I'm not gonna lie. I know it seems like a little, popular culture deck, but I think it hits hard, And so, like, we've got Aaliyah as the angel, Gangsta Boo for confidence. I mean, some of these words, resistance. You know what I mean? Order, leadership for Nicki Minaj, ambition, innovation, defiance, sexuality, defense. Like, the fact that they picked Salt and Pepper for sexuality, you know what I mean? Like, they led that movement, really. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and then to bring that back into our consciousness and remind us, transition, that we have power in this world as women, as Black women, So tenacity, passion, knowledge. I love this deck. I have another one similar to this, but I wouldn't actually put it in the Hit Me Baby One More Time, because I don't know that I would buy it again to share it, because it's very, I don't know, that it's the Roar Tarot from NJ Cullinane. I don't know if this one is, I think, gonna be more, if I wanted to share it with someone, I think people would what's the word? This art style and this sort of deck is easier to swallow than like the MJ Cullinane Roar deck of someone who doesn't really know tarot or whatever. You know what I mean? So this one would be much easier to share. So this will be my other Hit Me Baby One More Time. So this is the Hip Hop Queens Oracle deck, written by Kathy Iandoli and illustrated by Monica Ahanonu. If I butchered that, please forgive me. I'm so sorry. And from Clarkson Potter Publishers. Okay, so the next prompt, and this is we're almost at the end. I only have two more. So this one is You Rock My World. And this is cards that blend tarot and pop culture perfectly. In your opinion, the perfect blend. And for me, I am going to choose at this moment in time, the one that is at the forefront of my mind is this one. This is the Little Wizards Tarot from Push Kitty Collectibles. You can get this on her website. I don't know if she has an Etsy, but I know that she has. If you search Push Kitty Collectibles, you'll find her website. This is inspired by Harry Potter. So I enjoy this deck quite a bit. It is a fan culture, pop culture. What is it called? Fan art deck? I don't know. I don't know. But it's very cute, and it blends tarot and this story perfectly. Like, look at this Eight of Swords, And I don't know. I think that she's done such a fabulous job here. It even got me, and I'm not even a huge Harry Potter fan. I'm not, y'all. I mean, I like it well enough, but not that much to where I wanted a whole deck, and these decks are pricey, but I don't regret it at all. I dropped this money so fast, I had to have it, and it's so good, and it reads really well. The quality is beautiful. It's rose petal finish, which I love, but it's not the type of sticky rose petal. It shuffles pretty well for a rose petal deck, which I appreciate. Um, it does stick a little because it's rose petal. I mean, look at this Nine of Swords. I mean, he's under the stairs. Like, it's just Three of Cups, Harry and his peeps. Like the Death card. Like, look, I can't with this. It's so good. Look at this Four of Swords. Yes, Five of Cups. Oh, in loving memory of Dobby or whatever his name is. So sad. The Strength card with Ron and his spider. The Ten of Pentacles, his family. I just think it's really good. And so for my You Rock My World, this one definitely rocks my world. And this is the Little Wizards Tarot from Push Kitty Collectibles. And so we come to our final prompt, and my final prompt is show them what you got. And this one is any more pop culture decks that you have in your collection that you would like to share. I have two that I would like to share that I think are very well done and could have gone in the You Rock My World category. Or even the Love to Love You Baby, which is, a pop culture deck that I love. This one actually could have definitely gone in the Love to Love You Baby. And this is the Pulp Tarot by Todd Alcott. I missed the first version of this. This is the second. This box did not come with any kind of closure. So I put some magnetic tape here and here. I don't understand. I mean, I like the box. It's cute. But why give me a box that I can't keep, that it's not going to close and I can't keep my cards in? That is my only complaint with this deck, though, because it is fabulous. Even this little white book is good. It's little, but it gets to the point and it takes you through the story and it takes you through the world building. So if you have this deck, I would suggest you read this book because it is worth it and it doesn't take long to read. This deck is wonderful. I love it. It's very well done. I love the titles at the top because when I'm laying the cards out, I can easily see, without having color coded it, they have easily made it so that you can clearly see what's on your table without having to color code. Because I know a lot of people don't like color coding. I like it because I like to be able to see what's on my table very quickly. But look, I can clearly see there's 2 cups, a pentacle, a wand, and, there is a major. Clearly, I can see it very quickly with no issues. When I'm laying out a spread, I can clearly see I've got 3 majors here and 2 swords. So I love that about this. I also think that this collage art that he's done here to create these movie posters, or I think they're meant to be book covers from pulp novels. I think he's done a fabulous job of this collaging these together to make these posters. I think it's wonderful, and it definitely goes very well with the tarot. I mean, even down to like, this is the 8 of Wands, obviously, but look what's happening there, even just like in the corner there, so it's like every little detail. I really enjoy this deck, and so I would love to, it's definitely one that I would like to share or highlight for anyone who hasn't seen it. At the moment, you can buy this deck on Amazon for under $30 with free shipping if you are in the US. I am not sure if it is, going to be like that when you see this or whatever, but I know that I saw it on there and I was like, what? Because I had to pay for shipping, so... But I bought this deck as soon as it was re-released because I missed the first one and I pretty much stalked the creator. Oh, Lord, I just spit on my card. Gross. I pretty much stalked the creator until they released this. I pretty much stalked him on Instagram and I was like, is it out yet? Is it out yet? When is it coming? When is it coming? And yeah, so I got it as soon as it came out. So I've had it for a little while, but now you can actually buy this on Amazon with free shipping if you're in the States. And that is the Pulp Tarot by Todd Alcott. And the other deck that I thought deserved a mention, in my Show 'em What You Got category, one more I'd like to share. This is the Tarot and Tarot Vampiria. Let me zoom you out. Hold on, I'm going to zoom you out so that you can see the full box. It's a big box. This deck, the only reason I'm putting this in sort of like an honorable mention is because this is a French deck, and to get it here in the States, you have to have it either brought in or order it from French Amazon. On French Amazon, it's very cheap. It's only like 19 euros or something like that. But you have to pay the shipping, and I actually ordered it from French Amazon because I had some other stuff I wanted to order, and they only charged me one shipping, so I was going to have to pay shipping anyway, so I went ahead and threw this deck in with some other stuff I ordered from them. But this is a fabulous deck, y'all. It's a pip deck. Oh, Lord. I hate this box. Yeah, there are cards stuck. There's several cards stuck down here. And this happens every time. It is a pain in the ass. I cannot wait until I get a new something to put this in, because I cannot with this box. I cannot with this box. All right. It's very pretty. I mean, it's a gorgeous box. Don't get me wrong. I mean, look at it. It's beautiful. But it's not functional for my purposes. Because the thumb holes don't go all the way down. So you can't get your hands all the way down there to grab them, and then they get stuck under. It's horrifying. It's horrifying. I'm going to tear my cards. I have to find another way to store these. But this is, this little book here. I spent about a month going through French guidebooks last month in February. I went through this one, and I went through another one, which I'm actually going to do a walkthrough of and read some of the guidebook just for anybody who might be interested in it. And I could do this one too if anybody's interested. This book is fabulous, and it makes me want to read the books that this deck is based on. So it's based on some books by Victor Dixon, a series of novels that are in French that I think are being translated to English as we speak. So hopefully we'll be able to get those in the next few years. And reading this guidebook made me very interested in reading his actual books, because it's written very well. The world is woven so well, and it's just, it's a dream. And also, it's a beautiful deck. The artwork on this is stunning. It's color coded, which I love. The pips are gorgeous. It is a pip deck, but they're gorgeous. And I guess they're what one would call pips. Is it pips with feelings is what people call these, where it's like pips, but they give you like a little hint of what could possibly be the meaning in them. Now, I would not call this a beginner deck, not only because it's pips and it's not Marseille pips. They kind of just go all over. And there are several courts. So like the courts, I think there's 6 of each. There's a male and a female for each of the 3 suits, the 3 face cards that you would have in a playing card deck. So like you have a king and a queen, and then you have a male and female knight, and then a male and female page of sorts. And so yeah, it gets a little confusing for someone who doesn't have the basics of tarot already under their belt. I would not suggest this for a beginner. However, it is a fabulous deck, and I do suggest it. If you can read tarot, I think jumping into this is not too hard. It's only really learning the extra courts. And I was able to jump into it with no problem, and it's color coded, so that's fabulous. And so I love this, and it is something that I would like to talk about a little bit, just show. This is called the Tarot, Forbidden Tarot Vampiria. The Vampiria, what is it called? Tarot and Tarot Vampiria. Vampiria is the name of the place, the place where all of these characters reside. So that is it. That is the last of my decks. I hope that you enjoyed this pop culture deck reflection collection. And if you want to join in, yeah, please join me. I would love to see what you guys have, especially if you are in another culture, or if your culture is different than mine, or if you just like different things than I do. What you got, show us what you got. And just let me know or tag me or whatever, and I think I'll make a playlist. If I see a lot of people making them, I'll make a playlist, so you can check back here for that if you want to see more of these. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and share with your friends. And if you want to see more from me, you can subscribe. I do videos on tarot and oracle, and I release them around every 5 days or so. I do have quite a few VRs coming this month because I need to catch up, and some unboxings because I got a lot of decks coming in. So, watch the space for that. So with that, I will leave you. Stay safe. Be blessed. Bye.